What's up, guys? Hoarder here, and welcome to episode 3 of my 18643 beginner metal detecting review series, where I look for every metal detecting machine I can find priced under $186.43, and we're going to do a review on it so you can see if it's any good. Why did I pick that crazy number? Because that's how much I dug in just modern change last year alone. Pennies, nickel, dimes, and quarters, 186 bucks. And if I can find that much on Colonial farms and 1,800 houses, imagine what you're going to find in your local parks and schools and churches. Heck, you're going to quadruple that number. So this week on the Chop and Block, I had not one but two people email me and said, "Hey Jay, I saw this machine on Amazon. Is it any good?" And I had to say, I don't know. But you know what? I picked one up, and we're going to find out together in about 20 minutes. So on the Chop and Block this week, the SUNPOW MD02 metal detector. Let's open it up, see what she can do. All right, so let's open it up. The SUNPOW MD02 retails on Amazon for $149. All right, it looks like it has headphones. Put them off to the side. There is, looks like a soft carry case. And there's a coil. It looks like a 10-inch round coil. We'll lay it out in a second and see. Here's the machine. Wow, look at the color. Every machine I got's got like crazy colors. And the control box is like mounted upside down. Maybe it was just for shipping. We'll investigate in a minute. Let's see. Oh, one of those goofy shovel pickaxe tools, but okay. Warranty, manual, some sort of a scratch off. I don't know. Looks like the two shaft rods are in there. So, hey, let's lay it all out and get a better look at it. All right, and here's everything that came in the box. The SUNPOW MD02. We'll start down here. You get this soft carrying case. Zipper's open. You can put your home machine in there. Has a small zipper pocket down here and a larger zipper pocket here, so you can carry all sorts of goodies around. Does come with a warranty card, a beefy instruction book. Does come with this scratch off. I don't know what the heck that is. This Yukon Jack digging tool. It's got a shovel with a serrated edge on one side, a pickaxe on the other. These things are kind of junky, but it was nice they threw it in there. Does have a soft carry case too. Has a 10-inch coil, good size coil, get a lot of depth with that, hopefully. Has a lower shaft, middle shaft, of course. Does come with wired headphones. Looks like a 3.5 millimeter jack. We'll look at it in a second. And then you got the control box, upper shaft, arm cuff already together. We do have to take out these two screws and flip the control box to face the other direction. It looks like it was put that way just for shipping. But let's do an assembly. This should be a piece of cake to put this in together. All right, so assembly. I don't want to take all day with assembly. This one's going to be really easy. You can move this to the side and these to the side. Control box, I was right. These little nuts come off. And we are going to flip the control box. Just take the screws out, flip it upside down, and remount it. All right, so now it's mounted the correct way, so when you hold it, you can actually see it. And we'll do the rods. Just like before, it's always best if you get your lower rod and connect that to your coil first. That way you don't have the weight of the machine on the other end. So we're going to put the lower rod on this coil. We're going to put the upper rod on here. Very simple, just little pinch-in screws. Pinch. There you go, that one's done. And coil, same thing. Undo this nut, stick it in there. Don't forget, you always want it away from you. So let's put that together. All right, the lower rod is now on the coil. Put the wing nut on. And then if we go whoop, same thing. All right, so it's fully assembled. Let's run the coil wire all the way up. Like I said, we wrap it all around. We put this 90 degrees, don't forget. We'll wrap it all around, plug it in the control box, and let's take a look at the control box itself. This one actually is color, so I'm excited to see that. All right, so here's the control box. Big Mickey ears, swoops down. The LCD screen comes off the top. So I'll give them credit for a unique design of the control box. We're going to turn it on. It's a little volume switch here. You'll hear the click right there. And volume goes all the way up. You can plug in headphones. Some of the buttons: mode, set, accept, reject. plus and minus buttons, ground track. There's a ground balance knob. The ground balance only works when you're in all metal mode. We'll go over that in a second. These are your different notch categories up top: nail, nickel, pull tab, S cap, penny, quarter. These are your different levels of depth and sensitivity. And we're going to go right into the different modes. So if we hit mode, we see right now it's on disc, which is discrimination. Goes to all metal, notch, back to disc. Those are your three different modes. Let's look at disc first. In the disc mode, if we press the set button, now it says disc notch. So if you look up here, we can actually notch these out. You see they're disappearing? So now I'll only hear quarters. I can notch back in pennies. I'll only hear pennies and quarters. I won't hear that other stuff. We're going to put it on full right now, but at least you can notch certain things out, which is a great feature. If we go into mode and go into the notch mode and hit set, now you'll see if I arrow over, you see my little arrow moves over, and then I can accept or reject just that. I'll move over here and I'll reject that. So now I'm not going to hear those midtones. I'll only hear the high tones and the low tones. I could always come back over and accept it back in again, accept it back in again. Oops, wrong button. Now they're all back on. So you can notch in the notch mode. You can discriminate from 0 up in the discrimination mode. You can't do either one in the all metal mode. You can also adjust the sensitivity when you have sense highlighted up at the top. Same thing, up and minus, and you'll see the sensitivity is going down. And then you add it to come back in 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches. They are color coded too, which is kind of unique. So, you know, like I said, I'll give them some credit for innovation. I don't know how well it works yet, but at least the design is kind of interesting. Now in the notch and the disc mode, you'll hear 3 different tones: a low tone, a medium tone, and a high tone. We're going to go out back in a minute and do that. The all metal mode, if we go into that, it's only a 1 tone. Everything is just the same tone. Not a big fan of that. You can also use the ground balance in all metal only. All metal is tricky. It's confusing. Even with the manual, it was confusing. You got to start with the ground balance knob turned all the way clockwise until the arrow points to the P. Then you pump the coil up and down and hit your ground track button 2 to 3 times. Once that's hit, then you put it on the ground. If you hear a noise, it's not at the right marking. You got to turn your knob slightly counterclockwise, repump, re-hit the button 2-3 times, put it on the ground, see if you hear a noise again. Keep repeating as you slowly move this down. I didn't like it. It was very confusing, and the book was really no help at all. So I'm going to kind of just concentrate on the disc and notch modes. All right, and just for consistency, since I did it on the other machines, air test, just these 4 coins. Do a little line dancing, we'll see how it does. The machine's on disc mode, so you can hear the difference because, you know, all metal is only 1 tone. I want you to hear the tones. And we'll go 1 to 10, full sensitivity, which is up to number 8. Start with the buffalo nickel. 3, 4, 5. Nope. Nope. Not even 4. Like 3.5 inches, and the machine's freaking out. Let's go with the mercury dime. I don't know what the heck that noise is all about, but all right. 3, 4, maybe 4. I do not like that. Let's try the silver quarter. 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, that's it. 4.5, maybe 5. That annoying beeping, it almost sounds like a threshold. I can see how that's irritating. Let's try the $50. The last machine I tested hit this at 11 inches. Four. Nope. Wow. Holy cow, that's all you got? Maybe 4 inches, 4.5 inches. Come on. One more shot. Wow. That's disheartening. Holy cow. Well, there it is. Less than half of the last machine. Definitely not a depth monster. All right, we're going to try to put the machine in motion a little bit and see it can pick things up just right off the ground. Copper penny, nickel, dime, silver quarter, silver $50. Let's turn the SUNPOW on, max volume, and I'm going to put it at full sensitivity, and I'm going to leave it in disc mode so we can hear the different tones. And the way the screen's angled, you might not be able to see it too well, but let's see how it does. Here we go. Copper penny. Solid. I'm only about an inch above it. I'm almost touching it. Starts freaking out about there. I'm probably about 5 inches above it. Right there, about 4 inches. Move it up. Nothing up here. Let's try the dime. I'm sorry, let's try the nickel. Same thing, I'm almost touching it. Nothing up here, and this is only about maybe 5-6 inches. Mercury dime. If I go any lower, I'm going to scrape the ground. I'm that close to it. Same thing. Maybe 5 inches, 4 inches. Silver quarter. It does register well on the machine. Once I get to about 5 inches, same thing. Even with a big coin, $50. Didn't like it down low. Oh, now it's getting it. Same thing. 5 inches is like max depth. All right, I put the $50 and the nickel about an inch from each other. We're going to see if it can separate between the two and see if that nickel tone drags the $50 tone down. Here we go. No, it's hitting it. I clearly don't hear two things. You know, a good machine would separate and you'd hear both targets. But it did lock on to that $50. I'm probably about 5 inches above it right there. Any higher, nothing. Don't hear the nickel at all. What if I come this direction? See if I can hear that nickel. Yep, maybe a little bit. Once I get to that inner ring though, no nickel. All right, we're also going to try my test from last week that I did with the striker. $50 underneath of an iron screw. Someone commented and said their favorite rock band in the 80s was Iron Screw. That was really funny. Max sensitivity. Let's see if I can hear it. The last machine heard it at 11.5 inches. Let's see how this one does. Good luck. Right about there. About the same. About 5 inches, maybe 6 inches. Up here, nothing. I mean, 11 inches where I heard it up here. It just hears air. It does hear it though. So if you were walking along swinging and you swung over a $50 under a screw, now it's a little over the place, but you're going to investigate. So there it is, guys, the SUNPOW MD02 metal detector. And I gotta admit, this was not my favorite model. A lot of things just weren't quite right with it. Let's start with the instruction book. Very difficult to read. I'm not sure who proofread it. It was more confusing to try to use the instruction book than to just play with the machine and figure it out. The all metal mode, very difficult for beginners. Fiddling with the knob, constantly having to readjust the buttons. If it's a beginner machine, either get rid of the feature or make it easy for beginners. No backlight on the LCD screen made it difficult. The way this LCD is angled, the sun was bouncing off, hit me in the eyes. Couldn't really see it, didn't really care for that. 8 AA batteries. I don't mind you need so many batteries, but it makes it really top heavy. So it just didn't feel balanced very well. Not to mention the depth. Anything over 3.5 inches or deeper, man, forget about it. You really don't have much of a chance. 3 inches or shallower were the only thing that came in with any consistency. So I really didn't like that about it either. I believe the SUNPOW MD02 retails for $129 on Amazon, but I'm not even sure. It's been out of stock for almost a month. And when it's out of stock, it doesn't show you the price. So question mark on the price, kind of like how I have a question mark on the machine itself. I just think if you're going to buy a metal detector and you got $150 or so in your pocket, there's better options out there for you. Now, in all fairness, the SUNPOW does have an MD03 model, an upgrade version. Maybe that's a little better. I don't know. This is the one they sent me. But for this machine, I'm going to give it 1.5 out of 5 stars. Definitely a lot of room for improvements. And hey, maybe they made those improvements with the next model. We shall see. But otherwise, next week, a new machine on the chopping block. This one had good reviews on Amazon, so I'm excited to see how it performs. So I hope you guys tune in for that one. Otherwise, thanks for watching, everybody. Happy hunting. I'll see you in the next one. Later.